Okay, now we're gonna lift this brass saw back up gently and pry it off the spine of the saw plate. As you can see, it doesn't take a whole lot. These old brass backs, well, we're talking about 1850s alloy here. You see a grime line about not even a quarter of an inch down from the spine? That is where that brass saw back has been resting all these years. Now I'm going to give this a real gentle cleaning. I'm not trying to make the plate bright. It's already pretty clean, but just to get rid of any irregularities on the surface that will mitigate cut friction is what I'm after. Also, you can tell with the grime line, that's accumulated grease, junk, whatever, maybe a little bit of rust. And if you just kind of gently take a little razor to it, you can scrape that off to include where the handle traps the saw plate. You flip it around and do the other side. Pretty straightforward procedure. The intent is never to make a saw plate drill sergeant bright for the parade ground. You'll never get it that way, but you can reduce a massive amount of cut friction by the judicious application of a cleaning agent, such as this Wizard's metal polish we like to use in the Bad Axe shop. Been using it for almost 10 years now. It works pretty well. These Sandflex hand block rubber erasers are also a pretty good product. Not to overdo it, but that too will raise just a hint of glimmer on the plate and remove any junk that might be built up there that's going to get in the way with the cut. So you can get more aggressive with it by putting it on edge like this to get away some tougher spots, like here in this handle area, maybe along the spine, and then just lay it down flat to raise a little bit of a gleam on that surface. Another product I like to use when restoring an old handle is this Kramer's Antique Improver. Basically, it's just dissolved beeswax, turpentine, and some boiled linseed oil. And then, of course, Colonel Sanders' secret recipe listed here on the back that he won't divulge what it is. So you can get the same effect done with boiled linseed oil, granulated beeswax, and turpentine. Chris Schwartz wrote about it in one of his articles, a number of years ago. But I like treating the handle with this stuff because it freshens up the wood and it's good for it. It's just all part and parcel of the cleaning process. Make sure I can get that in the frame here. Adds a little luster without stripping anything down. It's just a good treatment for the wood. Reshaping the teeth is really the untold story when it comes to saw sharpening. As you can see, the symmetry here is just not consistent. So here I am about halfway down the plate with an eye toward the lateral view of the tooth line in an effort to get the teeth far more consistent than what they were, and of course, well, frankly, shaped or sharpened, if you will, to joint. Then I'm going to deepen the gullets with a needle file, get a longer cutting edge on the teeth, and then I'll do the final sharpening. So I did the first pass with a 5-inch double extra slim, and as you can see right about here on this tooth, all right, do you see the difference between that gullet and the adjacent teeth here that I haven't done yet? That's the difference that a needle file makes, and this is a 200 millimeter needle file, and that is what deepens the gullets and puts a really nice cutting edge on each of those tooth. Believe it or not, that is 14 PPI. It's a really fine pitch, but boy, these needle files really make the teeth look larger. Now we're gonna hammer set this plate. I've already gotten started here. I'm gonna line it up here with the Seymour Smith version the Bad Axe version of the Seymour Smith hammer set recently released. I like using this quite a bit. It was one of the last things I put underway before selling the company to the employees. But here you see it in action, and I've taken care to only set the teeth in the direction they came in, and that's why I dotted the teeth with a Sharpie, was to stay on track. Once in a blue moon, you'll come upon a plate that has two teeth set adjacent to one another, and you don't want to try to reverse that or else you'll break the teeth. So that's why dotting your teeth and examining the plate, that tooth line, quite closely is so important. So let's, now that we've sharpened the plate and the tooth line, let's get the saw back sprung back onto the spine of the plate. You'll see that I'm using some canning wax here to put a little lubrication into the equation. You can go to the grocery store and get a lifetime supply for about $5. So you want to find the corner of that spine into the aperture of the saw back where it was originally sprung on. And here you can see I'm just kind of gently tapping it onto the spine. It will cantilever off if you're not careful. So just kind of work your way up on it, just barely get it on. We want to mount it high and forward so we're guaranteed to get the handle on. So again, we mounted the saw back high and forward. You can see where I've got it overhanging the edge at the toe end of the plate, and where we just barely grip it at the heel end. So in this manner, we can get the handle on, and then we'll close up the air gaps with some judicious. Okay, we have the saw put back together. It's clean. The handle has been gently buffed. The plate has no rust or any kind of residue on it. That's just 170 years worth of patina. And the teeth, I'll show a close-up here shortly of the teeth, but there's a very clean break line where the hammer set has imparted a very precise 033, 034 set, combined set, compared to the 026 thickness of the plate. So let's see how she cuts. Nice and smooth. And there we go. A very clean end grain, very smooth to the touch. This is a saw that's commissioned for another 170 years of work.